It's debate night, but we're not in Milwaukee.
So I watched Tucker Carlson's interview with Donald Trump last night, and not only was it an incoherent circle jerk, if that can be comprised of two people, but also some of the dumbest media I think I've ever watched. And I watched the Republican debate too, so that is saying something. I mean, it was loaded with softballs and incoherent rambling, including like a 3-minute tirade from Trump against electric vehicles for no reason.
Or have to drive an electric car, which, you know, you have a 4-hour drive, but the car only goes an hour and a half, so you have to charge it. The happiest moment for somebody in an electric car is the first 10 minutes. The unhappiest part is the next hour, because you're petrified that you're not going to be finding another charger. I'm saying, if people, I'm not knocking electric cars, they're fine. They're fine.
Okay, the guy is fucking funny, I'll give him that, but that had nothing to do with what they were talking about. He also talked about Biden not looking hot on the beach.
And then you see him on the beach where he can't lift a chair. You know, those chairs are meant to be light, right? And I don't know what they're doing with the beach. You know, this beach is seeming to play a big role, but I love pictures of him on the beach. I think he looks terrible on the beach. He looks terrible on the beach.
Skinny legs.
Well, he can't walk through the sand. You know, sand is not that easy to walk through, but when he walks through it, he can't walk through the sand. And there's somebody in there that thinks he looks fabulous at the beach. I think he looks horrible at the beach. Plus, the beach doesn't represent what a president's supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be working.
It's like, I see you, Trump, a little bit of homoeroticism, okay. But also, yeah, I don't look good on the beach, and I'm not in my late 70s or 80s. What's your point? Though on the flip side of that, he had some fucking hilarious jabs at Biden.
I think he's worse mentally than he is physically, and physically he's not exactly a triathlete or any kind of an athlete. You look at him, he can't walk to the helicopter. He walks, he can't lift his feet out of the grass. You know, it's only 2 inches at the White House, right? That's not a lot. But you watch him and it looks like he's walking on toothpicks.
Fuck, he is funny. And Tucker sure thought so too.
I bet she was very happy. I'm not going to get involved in it, but I can tell you.
In rhyme? What do you?
The whole thing is weird. This is not a
Little fussy man.
His father interviewed me in 60 Minutes.
He's like a kid with candy. Oh my God. You also had them going off about how mail-in ballots always mean fraud in an election.
Anytime you have mail-in ballots, you're going to have massive cheating on your elections. Anytime, but not just the presidential election. Anytime you have.
Isn't that the whole point of them?
Yeah.
So you can
Oh,
cheat?
yeah, sure. It's their whole point. That's their whole point. They want to cheat.
And talking about how ridiculous identification is, but then also saying that we need voter ID.
They use anything not to show ID, because voter ID is pretty simple. But to get in to vote, if you buy groceries, if you buy practically anything now, you have ID on a card, credit cards or otherwise. And
then Tucker chimes in with this absolute gem of a question.
But don't you think it's racist to have to show your ID?
I don't even have a response for that. Trump also said there was lots of love on January 6th.
I believe it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before. And you know some of the crowds I've spoken before. And like July 4th on the Mall, I think they had 1 million people there. But I think that the biggest crowd I've ever spoken before was on January 6th, and people that were in that crowd, a very, very small group of people, and we said patriotically and peacefully and patriotically, right? Nobody ever says that. People in that crowd said it was the most beautiful day they've ever experienced.
But my absolute favorite part by far was when Tucker asked Trump if he thought there was going to be another civil war.
Do you think we're moving towards civil war? So do you think it's possible that there's open conflict? We seem to be moving towards something.
I don't know, because I don't know what it, you know, I can say this. There's a level of passion that I've never seen. There's a level of hatred that I've never seen, and that's probably a bad combination.
Oh my God, what are you saying? That was an absolute softball. You should have Bambino blasted that thing out of the park. All you had to say was no. A simple no would have sufficed. Yeah, if you have 45 minutes and are looking to kill a few brain cells, throw it on. Also, I've seen it twice now, so I would love if someone could come up with some drinking game rules. Drop them in the comments below, because that would be perfection.